Welcome to a special broadcast, something new that I want to try with you. Let's hope that my screen isn't lagging. It kind of looks like it is. I'm going to bring Eric in real quick and we're going to double check. Eric, how am I?
Looks good. I don't see any
Looks
lag.
good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So this special edition of Locksmith Late is what I'm going to potentially call Tirade Tuesday. This is where we open it up and expose our inner asshole, and we complain about things that we see that we don't like. I think we got plenty to talk about, don't you?
Yeah.
So this past week was the Aloha convention. Let's start here. Last week was the Aloha convention, and for 6 months we have been engaging with plans and schemes. What was our goal initially before we even walked through the convention floor?
To broadcast from the convention and go about doing interviews as well as advertise the academy, put up our banner,
What about the lockpicking contest?
Oh, yeah. And then we were supposed to have a lock picking contest with some sort of apparatus to hold multiple locks of the same, and then let people face off and see who could it was the fastest.
Okay, so the general idea was to produce a lock picking contest that would achieve a few goals, draw people to the UHS booth. UHS donated us space, for which we are grateful. But it was almost hard for us to utilize this space because they wouldn't let us into the convention without name tags. And for 6 months, we had coordinated and planned and conspired, these ideas, these secret ideas. And whenever we paid for our own flights, our own hotel, they donated us the space. We weren't teaching, so we weren't really making any money. All money was supposed to be generated based off of sales of our academy, right?
Yeah.
And we couldn't even get into the convention because whenever we did, there was a doorman. And the doorman himself deserves some recognition for being the biggest douchebag that I have met. He denied 2 babies entry into the convention floor because 2 babies did not have name tags around their neck. And these babies were being pushed in a double stroller by their mother. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
How long did it take us, exhibitors, how long did it take us to get our name tags?
At least an hour.
About an hour and a half. So we, for 6 months, had planned to be there, throw down a lockpicking contest, podcast, and have a table. And from the jump, as soon as we tried to go inside to the convention floor, asshole McGee at the door said to us, "Where's your name tag?" I said, "I don't have it yet." He said, "Where is it?" I said, "Probably right there at the UHS booth." And he was like, "Go get it, come straight back to me so I can see it. If they don't have it, then you need to leave." And I was like, fuck this guy. He didn't even look like a locksmith. So I go over to the convention floor where Kafir is and the UHS staff. I was like, "Hey, Kafir, asshole number 1 at the door said this." And I told him. And so I saw some panic in Kafir's eyes. And he looked at another employee and was like, "Where are their name tags?" And she's like, "We don't have them. We gave all the name tags out." He's like, "What are you talking about? I told you to get their name tags." And she's like, "We already passed them all out." I was like, "So does that mean that somebody has my name around their neck?" So they start arguing. He's like, "You sent me a picture last night where I saw them. They were there." She's like, "I don't know what you saw because that's not true." And I was like, "All right, guys, let's get the fuck off the convention floor before asshole McGee kicks us out." And so we walked out and we waited. And it took forever. Am I tripping?
No. It was very justified because we made a trip to fucking Florida. It's not like it was in our backyards.
I uprooted, you uprooted, Paul uprooted. We had these plans. I lost so much money. Overall, Eric, how do you feel? Like, are you happy that you went to Aloha?
No, it was. There didn't seem to be a lot of enthusiasm in the place. I mean, the guys at UHS probably seemed like the only ones that were kind of enthusiastic about being there.
Yeah,
Maybe a couple others here and there, but the overall entire vibe of the place was like just I don't know, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like people wanted to be there. It didn't feel like anybody who was in some of the booths representing some of the companies that they even wanted to be there and
yeah.
to display and represent their products. Some of it was kind of like
And they wouldn't even know the
I know it's
product.
not to shit on every single person. Some of them were good, but a lot of them were just kind of like, okay, here's your free bag, move along,
And it's like I've described before, where a convention like this one kind of feels like your cattle just being pushed down the line. Okay, here's your free shit. You know our name? You know our name? You got a card? Okay, bye-bye. It's kind of like that, it felt like. What really shocked me initially was whenever we walked through the hotel lobby. All right, so let me pull up something real quick. We're gonna pull up this page real quick. So let me find this. How do you hide the taskbar? The taskbar is in my way, Eric. There it goes. All right. So I'm going to pull up Aloha's website or
here's
Facebook
one right
page.
Here. This guy says the floor had a weird feel. And he says, in YouTube land, most of them look like they didn't want to be.
So we showed up to the club VIP, gas tank on E, all drinks were on me. Just kidding. That's one of my favorite songs. But we showed up to the hotel and it was beautiful. It was so big and fancy, and it was everything I wasn't. I was like, holy shit, I don't belong here. We go to the lobby and we ask them, we're like, where's the Locksmith convention? And they're like, down the escalators. And I was like, escalators? What the fuck? How big is this place?
Yeah, that was my first impression too.
And that was she actually didn't give us really good or clear instructions because it was down 2 sets of elevators. And so we went down the first set of elevators and I was like, are we in the fucking Mall of America? And then the second set of elevators, I was like, are we taking a subway in like New York Grand Central Station? Like, where the fuck are we? Like, we're going underground, right? I was like, how big is this place? I've never been in a hotel so big. And I was wondering, like, how much does a convention cost? And how do they pay for it? Like, did Aloha spend due money, like member dues? Does that contribute to the ticket cost of an event? Or is the convention paid for by itself based on the sponsors? You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, why do we need to be here? Because when I was outside in the courtyard, I could see the towers from like 8 different hotels or resorts. And you stayed at a resort, I stayed at a resort. It was like $120 something a night for me. And it's fairly cheap and it was a great resort. It's like we tried to book at the Hilton and we missed the deadline for the code or the discount. And for like 2 nights or 3 nights, our ticket per person was around $500, $600, right?
Yeah. So we booked at the DoubleTree for the night that me and Shayna stayed, and then the 3 nights I think it was you and Paul stayed. Those 4 nights were cheaper than 1 night at the Hilton.
Yeah. And, fair point to Aloha is that they would negotiate a rate, but the rate was only good for a limited period of time, and we missed it. And so that's our fault. We had 6 months, no excuse.
Yeah.
And we missed it.
So we did kind of wait last minute to book our shit.
That's on us. And we still solved the problem in no time at all. And what that made me aware of was like, we had so many options, right? Why they choose like the fancy? And people are like, how do you know it's fancy, Jareth? Because it was the Hilton. It was nothing else. It was not the Garden by Hilton. It was not the DoubleTree by Hilton. You know what I mean? It was the Hilton. So I hate, like, I hate to say it like this. I hate money. Like, I hate whenever people just flash money, like everything's ostentatious. Like in the movie Bright with Will Smith, like the elves have their own side of town where like the guardrails are made of gold. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt walking into this place. I was like, Jesus Christ, you know? Now that's just the hotel. You know, we walk into this big ass place. We try to go down to the convention floor and we don't even have our tags. So the doorman pisses us off at the beginning. And the best part is that the doorman's not even a locksmith nor an Aloha member. He was part of a team that set up tables and stuff like that. He came as part of the package that the event organizers, you know, gave to Aloha. He was part of a package deal. So apparently, after he denied the lady entry with the 2 babies and the stroller, his justification was, well, ma'am, if your children steal or break anything, we have to know who you are or who the kids belong to. And I was like, you know, that's almost acceptable, aside from the fact that they're in a fucking stroller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had a talking to, apparently. Wayne Winton, shout out. He came up and he was like, how's the convention, guys? And we were like, that dude right there needs to go. So he got relieved of duty. Wayne Winton got put on door duty for about 30 minutes. But then homeboy came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, look, Tim is trying to get me to talk to him, and he's the one who wanted a refund from our academy within 36 hours because he didn't understand exactly what he was buying. Since it's Tirade Tuesday, Tim, hi. How are you? So, you know, let's talk about something else here. Aloha is kind of, I almost said the G word, but we can't use the G word anymore, or you'll offend the gays. So Aloha is kind of gay for this reason. They have these name tags, right? And they're stupid little name tags. They had these membership badges that would go all the way down. You know, you saw that, right?
Mm-hmm. Like
So,
where you put your exhibitor tag underneath your name tag.
yeah. Like we met dudes who had like 15, right? Or 2 or 3, you know?
Yeah.
And so they were walking around, they kind of looked like Shriners. Like I thought to myself, I was like, that's their cute little club thing. You know, their little like, here's our Shriner hat, here's their Shriner hat. You know what I mean? That's kind of how they establish rank, I guess, and pecking order. And I
Yeah.
saw
It's kind of like the colonel with all the badges down, you know.
Or right here, you know, the war ribbons. Yeah, the war ribbons. Yeah. You know, it's a way to cockswing instantaneously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, I'm not impressed, you know, because it'd be like CML, you know, CAL, so certified master locksmith, certified automotive locksmith, and then they'd have different ones for this, that, or another, you know, Aloha member, this member, blah, 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 SAFTA member, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, that I can see how that is kind of cool, like how and why. But then I saw a post on Facebook, and it was essentially it was Jamie Skinner, and Jamie Skinner took a picture of Jeremy Crocker, and Jeremy Crocker had like 7, I think, and he
had a comical amount. When I saw him,
well,
I died laughing on the inside because
he's
was
the
like
first
all the way down his. It was a comical amount of little badges he had under his badge. I don't know if it was because he was being funny or he was just cockswinging. Look at all the stuff I have, but it cracked me up when I saw it. It was like, what the fuck? How do you even take that serious?
Right. And you know, he was the first person I saw outside who I knew, and I walked up to him, and I he was the one I saw who had it, and I was like, well, aren't you important? You know what I mean? And I like Jeremy. I call him Theo Von Leprechaun because he looks like the leprechaun from the movie and also sounds like Theo Von. But I really like Jeremy. He's a good dude. But there was a post made by Jamie Skinner, something to the effect of like, yeah, I'm going to be at Aloha, and like, don't try to talk to me unless you're an Aloha veteran like my boy Jeremy Crocker. And they had Crocker pose like this, and he had all his shit showing. And I was like, huh. And at the end of the post, it was like, this post is approved by Mo Ali. And I was like, how much dick do you have to suck per post? You know what I'm saying? Like, he sucked his friend's cock, his own cock, and then Homo Ali's cock in one post. And you got to keep in context, these are the instructors that are out there to teach members at Aloha. So that fucked with me. I was like, you know what? You're out at Aloha representing, right? You're supposed to be like, oh, the industry standard, the shit that they always use against me, right? Don't let Jareth in because he's this and that. Well, let me tell you something real quick, guys. You're not better than the people that you're teaching just because you hang a lot of fucking ribbons down your belly, okay? So I don't understand why you got to come at motherfuckers like you're better than them. Like, we're too stupid to even talk to you at a fucking convention that they flew you to on their dime. They're paying you to teach, but you're still too good for the fucking people you're there to help. So that pissed me off. So now that that's out, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't see the post, but I wish I did. I don't know if he took it down or if I just, because we're not friends. I don't know. I tried looking for it, but
fuck him.
That's bullshit. I agree though. Like, you're never too good. I mean, even I don't care how much I know or how much you know. You're gonna walk up to somebody and talk to them and probably learn something from them, even if it's a tiny little trick.
Mm-hmm. Even if I ain't got shit hanging from my neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like to buy into an association or an organization. Perhaps I don't want to be affiliated with this. You know what I mean? Dog, you're going to give the ladies vapors. Put a shirt on. This is called Tirade for a reason. I'm hot. I'm pissed. And it's time for me to explode. So that utterly irritated me. And Homo Ali was at the TLA last year, and all he did was prove how much of an ass he was. He almost started like 3 fights. You know what I mean? Like, the guy contributed nothing there. And so I wondered, I was like, this motherfucker, like, why should he, like, why do they even care what the fuck he thinks? You know what I mean? And I just don't get it. Most of these instructors have a complex where they think that they're gods. But if these motherfuckers walk through any given Walmart, any given state, any given time, nobody's going to know who the fuck they are. They live in this bubble, and they stay in this bubble. It's, this little microcosm, this little mini universe, and they hear this echo inside their bubble of how cool and important they are. And they forget that whenever they leave the bubble, that they are not shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could be the most famous locksmith in the entire world. Nobody's going to know who the fuck you are once you walk out that door.
Goddamn true. And I think a lot of them, they just don't realize that. Like, when I look at them, I don't see much but a cunt, Here's that guy who thinks he's the shit. Invisible lat syndrome. You know what I mean? There he goes.
Yeah.
Fuck him. So that truly pissed me off. Aloha, I don't understand you. You're full of old people. Rumor has it you have like 1.7 million in your coffers. And that's not a lot. And so why do you choose the most expensive hotel when in a 5 to 10 mile radius, there's probably at least 50 different hotels and resorts, Yeah. Why do you allow behavior like that at the door? Why'd you let the doorman? Why was the doorman not a member or a locksmith? Why was he in control of kicking babies out? You know what I mean? Who didn't have name tags. And also, another thing is that the Aloha convention didn't have a stage. There was no stage that I saw. Did you see a stage?
No, I didn't either. I was looking for like kind of a center point of the room, and it was just kind of like just booths. So there was no like focus, like center focal point. You know what I mean? Like when we went to TLA and they had the stage where you guys did the lockpicking contest. And if they wanted to make an announcement convention wide, everybody kind of turned and paid attention to that. I didn't see one there.
No, like I think I heard an announcement once, and I was like, where the fuck is that even coming from? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
did too. I don't remember what it was, but I heard something kind of announced through there, and I had no idea where it's coming from, like at all.
Yeah, and I couldn't even understand it because it was like, you know, I was like, okay, well, that was fucking effective.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, y'all should have had a stage. Y'all should have had a stage where there's someone running around like, oh, have you seen this new fucking tool that X Horse is producing? The X Prog or whatever the fuck it is. Talk about that real quick. You saw that tool. What was that called?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't remember. It was something Prog, but it's an updated version to VVDI Prog. It's the next generation one, and it's it's really cool. It's kind of big, like probably about that big, but it had a screen built into it. We tried to play with the screen, but it wouldn't let us do anything because it's still like a real beta. So and everything was in Chinese. But what was really cool is the I'm gonna fuck it up. What the part where we plug in our devices on Prog, that was removable, and then you could plug in other adapters.
I thought it was fucking cool, but
yeah, that was really cool. I like that, but again, like it was kind of a lot of prying to get information out of the guy from X-Horse to really kind of explain things to us. Like he kind of just showed us a couple things, and then I was like, well, this is cool, you know, but what's it do? And he's like, well, Prog has been around for like 7 years, and so we have to come with something new. I'm like, yeah, you just showed me this whole fucking thing comes off, and we can put other adapters and stuff on there, dude. Like, expand on that. Tell me about it. You know,
it was
like, show me what's new. Why the fuck should I buy this instead of just keeping my VVDI Prog and never updating it? You know.
Well, I tell you straight out the gate that that new Prog or whatever it is, it looked fucking awesome. It looked extremely professional. Uh-oh, we got a lag.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you fine, but your video's lagging a little bit.
There we go. We're catching up. All right. So it was extremely professional looking. It looked almost over engineered. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was cool.
John at AR Labs, I love you, John. You're going to be on my podcast soon, so long as I don't turn you off with all my words. But John at AR Labs, the accessory pins on the AR32, he foresaw that technology will keep moving and his won't because he produced it and it's there. So it doesn't evolve. It's an item, right? So he was like, I'm going to make my AR32 expandable for the future guys. And that's why the AR32 has those accessory pins, you know, the 5 volts VPP and VCC, etc. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That allows us to open it up. So if John was ever to make a debugging board, which he said he's working on for 9S12 devices, he said you would plug into there, etc., and you'd read. Now, that new tool that we saw, the whole damn thing came off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they can expand it, do whatever the hell they want. It's almost modular.
It's socketed. It's cool as shit.
Yeah, it's modular. You know, it's really cool. Socketed is the word, but it was super cool. But I didn't get to go around the convention floor very much because I was trying to do one thing of our plan, which was at least a podcast, right? At least do something. That podcast is up and it's a hot shit show. And it felt like it during the show. But that kind of breaks into like one of my complaints is like UHS has been pretty cool. Like there's always an issue and I can't lie. If I lie, I'm biased. And so we were disappointed in the fact that like, it's like for months and months and months, you work on something together, but then you get there and it feels like you were working alone all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So we showed up and it didn't feel like we were supposed to be a part of it. Like it was like, it almost felt like we were attendees and not exhibitors or vendors. And so that was really kind of dispelling of the emotions. Like it broke my heart at first, but then it really pissed me off. I was like, fuck, I spent all this money, all this time, all this preparation. We flew Locks laptops, cameras, microphones, all sorts of shit, you know? And we couldn't even get in on time. You know, we got on the floor at like 11:30, and it wasn't even the hottest time. You know, it's like usually whenever the convention floor opens, it's flooded. And I wanted that. I wanted that energy. You know what I mean? I wanted
Yeah.
people walking past me so I could be like, who the fuck are you? Talk to me. But instead, I got trickles. I got like 4 people. I had UHS employees doing orders, you know? I was like, come talk to me. And they're like, yo, you know, and that was about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. So it's like, what was the point of the plan if the plan got us here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
it felt like Fear was the only one of all the staff that knew we were
Invested.
coming.
Yeah. He's
You
the
know what I
only
mean?
one who was invested. Yep.
Yeah, it felt like everyone else there was like they were in shock. Like, well, who the fuck are these guys and what are they doing in our booth? Like, why are they over here setting up a fucking laptop?
Right. And additionally, the talk of the town for 6 months was that we were going to get our own table, our own booth space, right?
Yeah.
What did we get?
So like we had to move some batteries and some things to have a little spot. It was pretty cool. They gave you that podium inevitably.
I took that without permission.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
you know my style.
Podium.
Yeah, I took it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Here's
But the thing is, Fear had asked us about, did you guys? He asked us ahead of time. Did you guys bring a banner? Bring your the Locksmith Academy that you normally have behind you, and we usually have at the when we teach. He asked if we brought that to make sure we could display it, but when we got there, it was like, where the hell are we going to put it?
That's my biggest complaint is, for 6 months, it was like, y'all are getting your own booth space, right? Like, we are going to include you inside of our space. And when we got there, the table was already set up. It had their banner on it. And I was like, the fuck am I going to do? Tear their banner off? You know what I mean? They're the ones who paid the money. They had all their shit. They had vices set up around the table because they tried to help us with the leashy contest, but there was like 5 vices. And I was like the table was low too, it's like, and it was in a bad spot too. You know what I mean? I was like, there was no thought about this. There was no forethought. It was like, put it together and there it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, UHS. I utilized the space for an hour. That's about it. I feel bad about that. I technically got kicked out of the show due to an altercation I had with a hater. Somebody who threatened to punch me in the mouth the next time they saw me. And I saw him, and I provided him the opportunity to punch me in the mouth, and he didn't. He ran through the lobby, scared, and security was scared for him, so they escorted me out. They didn't tell me to leave. The cops didn't tell me to leave. Nobody told me to leave. I voluntarily left because I was tripping. But that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, the second day, I felt I couldn't go. I thought the police were looking for me. So I was like, I'm not going to jail over this shit. Especially if we don't even have what we were promised, essentially, or what we were projected to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole idea, the whole concept was grandeur, something exceptionalism amongst the industry. Come prove you're the best lock picker. We're going to have a competition where the locks, whenever you pick them, a green light will go boop, done, move, speed. There's going to be a buzzer in the middle, 2 rows of lock pickers, and in the middle is the winner, like Ninja Warrior, and the winner, air horn or some bullshit like that. That was the talk. The talk was big. The talk was huge, exciting. And when we got there, I was like, fuck a duck. I'm never coming back to Aloha. And our screen's lagging again. What is up with my laggy ass screen? You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Badass. What did you think, Eric? I'm over here. I'm pissed off. The hotel restaurants make me mad. You know, like whenever, oh, we got a steakhouse in the restaurant, but every steak is $68. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do that
You order a
because you
fucking
don't.
sweet tea and get a half and half.
Oh, I ordered a sweet tea and they served me like an Arnold Palmer or whatever the fuck you call it. Like
Yeah.
it was half lemonade and half tea. And I passed my drink around and I asked people, I was like, am I fucking crazy? And they all agreed. And the waitress basically acted like I was crazy. Like nobody ever complains about the tea ever, you know?
Yeah. And maybe they don't because maybe they asked for half and half.
I guess.
I don't know. But that was not sweet tea.
It wasn't, it was, and you know, the burger sucked and it was like $20. And then thereafter I confronted the hater outside and I freaked everybody out. I got to tell you, man, like you have an idea in your head, you know, you think it's a good idea. And you know, after you do it, you're embarrassed, you know what I mean? Or like you regret it. And I do regret what I did. But Charles, I dare you to threaten me again. You threatened me when you walked away and you ran. You said, I'll get you later when you had me. I had you. We were outside alone. You did nothing. And then you ran through the lobby, you tore ass, and you still threatened me. You had your chance and you missed it. So I just want to say that I'm done with you, Charles. You're nothing to me. My teeth are still pretty. So aside from that, since we're on the topic of assholes, there's a guy that has really pissed me off lately, Alejandro, because this guy was a stranger to me and he saw one of my podcasts, which happens. Eric, you know, you saw me on YouTube before we talked personally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I will make friends with people who I meet on YouTube. You know, we met on Facebook, but somebody posted a video of mine and you were like, hey, I know, I watched that guy. And I was like, hello, Eric. And you were like, holy shit, it's that guy. And we became friends. You know what I mean? And so like, I had this guy reach out to me and he was like, hey, I saw your podcast and stuff. And I was like, that's cool. But he said, you should put me on your podcast. And I was like, motherfucker, I don't even know you. You know, who are you? And so I gave this guy a chance. And from what I can tell, this guy is trying to be like Mike. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. I want to make a point. Am I still on? I see my screen lagging.
Yeah.
Okay. Just bear with me. All right. So Alejandro is apparently upset. Jarrett, why is it that I get on the phone with any other locksmith but you? Literally guys on the board of Aloha or former board members that teach and have parents, he means patents, I've had lengthy convos with. Guys in my city have given me thousands of dollars worth of equipment and jobs just because of who I am and what I do. But you just brushed me off like an asshole. By the way, it's an asshole. You're an asshole. But you brushed me off like an asshole. Anybody else, I could give a fuck. I'm trying to talk and do business with you and have gotten nothing but friction. Not cool, man. Yeah, Alejandro, for 5 years, I produced content on my platform. For 5 years, I have paid $200 a month to maintain the servers of my website. I initially bought the program for $2,500 initial investment. This doesn't consider the cost of car keys and locks and etc. work that I have done for free just to get them on camera for you. So the mere fact that you want my shit for free offends me. And I told you so. Not to mention, the first time you reached out to me, you still wanted something from me. You wanted to be on my podcast because you think that you're special. So, Alejandro, today, I use you as an example of what an asshole looks like. And I'm going to show the world. Because those who fucking want me to like them often don't get me to like them. I'm a particular kind of cunt. If you try to manipulate me, if you try to bribe me, if you try to, in any way, compel me to behave a certain way for you, it'll piss me off. Are we still here, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your
So
video camera's going fucking crazy, but your
it's
audio.
okay. It's for the reason my video camera's going crazy is because I'm currently hooked up to another screen and it's working hard. Okay. But if you look, you can see that I took time to educate this man. I asked him if he did leashy. No. How long you been a locksmith? About 9 years with his brother. See right here. I said, how about lock decoding? So you save money and you're not a codesmith. Because at this time, whenever I was talking to him, he was like, oh my God, please help me. I was like, do you even leashy? He's like, no, we buy codes. I was like, there you go. Work on that. Well, how do I work on that? Well, you buy a leashy and you practice. Well, how do I do that? Alejandro, what kind of cars do you have? Oh, we have a Dodge Journey and we also have this. So I took time and I told him what to buy, right? You buy a CY24, you practice on your own cars, and you cut your fucking key. And so all of that, I have discussed so much with him. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see I blocked Alejandro. I do not do well with cunts like this, okay? Do not compel me to give you free shit. We can go through the entire conversation. I don't care. You will see. I've even shown him free trial, sign up. You only get Chrysler, but that's fine, Alejandro, because you drive a Mopar. Okay, nice. Gonna send it to my brother. All right. And then this guy wanted me to be on his podcast so that he could interview me. You know what he did, Eric? Any idea?
Didn't you tell me he went and tried to interview Chris instead?
Alejandro, the creepy stalker that he is, who wants to be just like me. Uh-oh. No
That's the
internet
second time
connection.
that's come up. I think there's something going on with your router.
Yeah. Hopefully we stay connected. Now, he sent messages to every guest that had been on my podcast prior and invited them to his podcast that hadn't existed until the fact thereafter of mine. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. You're just
okay. So
video.
I thought it was kind of creepy that, he was basically stalking me. You know what I mean? Going back in time and catching up with what I did. I hate the fact that my laptop is so laggy right now. I've just unplugged the other connection. There we go. I'm back. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tirade Tuesday. How you liking it? Is it something that you like? Are my complaints valid? Are there not cunty, asshole, and fake instructors in our industry who act like exceptional people when they aren't? Who treat others like shit for the mere fact that it benefits their ego? Did Aloha not fail the members by signing them up to stay at the most expensive resort within a 10-mile radius? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm incredibly confused by the industry that I saw represented in Orlando, Florida. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. I agree. I thought that hotel was way over the top for a locksmith convention. I would have expected it in something a little more mediocre. And now it kind of makes me wonder if going to an extravagant, insane venue like that is how they justify charging as much as they do for booth space. I don't want to disclose exact numbers, but it's mind-boggling fucking high.
It's around $15,000 for a certain amount of space. Okay.
And some people paid a lot more than that.
Yep. When I was in the HL Flake trade show in Houston, 2019, I think, Ilco, I think they had the largest booth space. They had a car. They had a whole ass car in their spot, and they were showing people how to program, keys and shit. I heard that they paid 20 to 30,000 for their space, and that fucking blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, they had a Captain Jack Sparrow running around the place throwing gold coins to people that were like $5 off, $50 off, $10 off. I was like, that's how you fucking do it right there.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And nobody does that. That brings up another point. We were outside talking to Brian Scuggs, I think is his last name. I'm sorry, Brian.
Suggs.
Okay, I dated a girl in high school whose last name was Scuggs, and so every time I hear something like that, I default to Scuggs. Suggs?
Yeah.
So Brian was there. I was shocked by how old he was. First time I met him, he'll say it himself. He's old. I bring it up because he was sitting next to the convention president for the Aloha convention, whom was complaining. He said, "Oh, we were at a meeting, and I went to the bathroom and came back, and I was elected president of the convention." And I was like, "Well, that sounds kind of fucked up, but okay." And he was like, "Yeah, little old people, old guys. We need new blood." And I was like, "Dude, you're surrounded by my young blood. Me, Eric, Paul, and some other people, right?" I was like, "You guys clearly aren't looking for the young blood if you can't find it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're here. What the fuck did I do with my vape? Look at me. I got so excited I threw my vape across the room or some shit. Yeah. It drives me nuts. Like, the fucking change it up. Change it up. Aloha sucks. Not every convention can be the TLA. The TLA is fucking awesome. When I go to the TLA, I get a sense of culture. Like, I'm in Texas, and it's like, well, do you want barbecue or do you want, this or that? You get to experience Texas. In Orlando at the Hilton, it's fucking Disney World. It's Disney. Like, oh, let's go to the Disney gift shop. Fuck Disney. You know what I mean? Like, Disney's woke right now. I don't fucking support Disney. I'm like, shit, there's nothing to do here. There's SeaWorld. No, thank you. There's Disney. No, thank you. Universal's pretty fucking cool, but I bet it was packed. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, this, it boggles the mind. I don't know. Get me some young blood. We need a new organization. There's some people here who have been talking about new organizations like guilds, clubs, blah, 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 unions. I believe that the time is ripe for an aggressive overtaking of what is currently being offered. If Aloha, and if this is true, if they only have like 1.7 million in their account, they probably have a little bit more after the show, maybe 2 million. That's not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too hard to get something like that to a ship like that to sink itself. I can't believe I lost my vape. Looks like I'm going to be fiending. Oh, here it is. We found it. Right here. It's Anna. Anna fucking stole it. Thanks, Anna. I appreciate it. I'm going to step in your flower bed when I see you. I found it. I did throw it. See? I threw it. So
don't mess with her orchids.
Yeah. Her orchids are her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. The industry right now is in shambles. Oh, you got to have a badge to enter the convention floor. But if you go to our website, we'll sell you everything without a business account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like UHS, American Key Supply, Yellow Key Supply, fucking Midwest, Transponder Island, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's in our industry has a back door to the public somewhere. You know what I mean? And people like to talk shit about UHS being UHS, but they're owned by a bigger company, one that has the most, I guess you could say, stake in the game right now, you know? And it's like, who owns the industry? Do we own it, the locksmiths, or do they?
Yeah, they do. They want to.
I think we should find out some way. Sorry, I'm reading JK's message. We got to find some way to fight back against these fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, they take our money and they use it against us. You know, they build, you know, a multi-front attack against us. They sell to dealerships. They sell underneath us to the customers. You know, the fucking Autel watch with the dongle is the next big thing that's going to come out. Dongle-based technology, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the biggest threat coming your way, because your customers are going to order their keys and it's going to come with a dongle. It's already happening, but it's going to get better because they're going to start putting AI into these apps so that it's going to go through the programming procedure without any help needed. And if it does need help, they're going to be able to team view the customer. And locksmiths like me or you or Eric or Paul will get paid, incentivized, $20 per tech call. So everybody on Facebook in these groups who tries to be the smartest motherfucker answering questions to the Codesmith questions. How do I make key to 2016 Honda Civic? Well, you're the problem because you're feeding data to them. I'm guilty of that, but I am at least man enough to admit my mistakes. I put a $3,000 paywall against my content. And what did the industry leaders do? They made fun of me. Jareth, do you really think that your stuff is worth $3,000? I did it for you, you fuckface piece of shit. Because if I had sold it for $500 for a year or a lifetime, the same elite locksmiths would shit on me and say he sold the industry out. He's not charging enough. So it's a no-win situation being a damn locksmith in America right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Driving me fucking nuts. No win. So I've decided maybe I'll get rich like everybody else. Maybe I'll drop the price of my academy to $750 for a year. Maybe I'll do $500 a year. It doesn't matter. The elitist locksmiths who are at the conventions, who are teaching, who are flown by the associations, think that I'm retarded. They think that you're retarded. If you don't have this many fucking badges around your neck, don't fucking talk to me. You know what I mean? So if that's the status of our industry, where they plug us into the biggest, fanciest hotel, like, fuck it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'll do me.
Yeah.
I'm going off the chain here. So, yeah, you know it. You know it, sister. See, Anna's got big facts. Anna, let's talk. This industry has been in shambles for a year. It's just more visible now with social media because now we talk to each other. That's kind of something that I saw too. Like, the internet has opened up the information. Hello. I was one of the first locksmiths to put information on YouTube. I know. So I was motivated by cunty behavior, though. Cunty behavior kind of came hand in hand in our industry, where locksmiths used to not talk to each other. You know what I mean? So now we opened up the lines of communication. And you still get some of that. Like, I don't want to fucking tell you nothing. I appreciate that. And also, I realize I'm being kind of a hypocrite, right? Because I'm yelling at Jamie Skinner, Jeremy Crocker, and Homo Ali about being cunty and talking to people. But they're paid to be there. You know what I mean? They're at an association representing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I understand if they don't want to talk to people in groups. But if you're in an association representing, and you're an educator, you should probably be amenable, you know, and open to new people. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that why you're there? To teach?
Yeah.
To
I
share?
mean, exactly. Yeah. You're an educator and you're at the convention. You feel like somebody wants to ask you a question, you should have 5 minutes to answer them.
Yeah.
I think even if it's a deflection.
Yes.
How do I do that?
Even if,
well, this is the general basis of how you do it, but you can sign up for my class and we can get in depth into it. And you didn't answer the guy's question, but you still took the time to answer his question.
Or, have you looked it up?
He's going to be like, hey, that guy was nice, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I left Aloha with a complete, I don't know if the right word is paradigm. I use it. I like the word paradigm shift. Like, it's like what I feel, like the entire feeling of everything that I can consider in this industry, like it flipped on me. I was like, oh, this industry has potential to come together and to unite. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like at that convention, I don't know.
I hated how there's so much there was like so much of it was just people were just kind of more worried about taking pictures than they were anything else. Like when we went to, so after you left and we came back into the convention, we walked around a little bit and we stopped at the OBD Star. We stopped at the OBD Star booth, and they had that little tablet that JK was telling us about that's supposed to clone ECUs, and they had a GM ECU sitting there on the bench.
I was in hiding though at the time, so I didn't get to see this. I was hiding in a bush from the cops as they drove by.
Yeah, so just me, it was myself, Paul and Greg and myself and Shayna were all there. And they had two Asian women running the booth, Chinese, Asian. I don't know exactly where they're from.
You're being racist. I'm kidding.
Clearly not Americans. But they were more interested in like photo ops than they were showing us the product or teaching us. Like
explain
not
that.
Even teaching, just demoing it. That we said, hey, you have a fucking ECU right here, and this is supposed to clone it. Can we read it? She's like, oh, yes. And like shows
photo
the
ops with who?
But what's that?
Who were they more interested in taking photo ops with?
So I didn't know everybody who walked by, but JB Gates did come by, and so that's what I was getting at. That's where it was super fucking irritating, is because the one lady is kind of going through the program or trying to show us how to use it, and then the other lady wants to take pictures, but she comes over and says, "Oh, here, take picture." So the lady, instead of saying, hey, I'm with a potential customer, because I'm not going to lie, I was really interested in it. Greg himself said he was too. He was like, fuck, if we could, I'd have bought that shit today. But we walked out of there with nothing. And, JB Gates walks by, and nothing against him. I just happen to know who he was. He walks by, and he wants a photo op with the lady. And so they're standing there. Okay, let's take our picture. And the other lady stops to go take pictures. Like 3 or 4 fucking times this happened. And we're just standing there with our thumbs in our asses, like, I mean, are we going to get this thing to work? Yeah. He's like, oh, we demoed this 1,000 times, this ECU, same one. And we never even got it to work. And then in the process of trying to figure it out, she's like, oh, well, we have videos on YouTube. Go watch YouTube and go over to American Key Supply. They sell our stuff. Go buy from them. Why the fuck are you here then?
She pulled the old Chinese.
Pack up your stupid fucking booth and go the fuck back home. You know what I mean? What the fuck, dude? Fuck that shit.
Dude, you got treated like a black guy in a Chinese-owned gas station. You buy now and leave,
Yeah.
Buy now and leave. Like
exactly.
They have like what movies that's like what oh god.
At one point when we couldn't read it, we had it pinned out. I knew the pinout was correct because Paul is the one who fucking did the pinout. And you know how fucking particular he is. He's going to notice every little detail. He'll notice details we won't notice. So I knew the pinout was correct. And we're like, hey, can you, like, what's going on? It won't read. And she's like, oh, pinout no right. Pinout no right. And the other lady comes over, and then they start saying something to each other in Chinese. And, like, I made the joke. I was like, they're saying stupid American can't read pinout. And I think they really were, because she looked at me with almost like a shocked face and was like, and then yelled at the other lady, oh, no, pinout right. Like, yeah, I know it's fucking pinout's right. Why isn't the fucking programmer working? She said, holy shit, he speak a Cantonese. Holy shit. Yeah, no shit. But
You
no,
know,
it's just aggravating, man. Like, there's, you go to some of a lot of the booths, and they don't want to talk to you. And if you ask the wrong question, it pisses them off. So JK, we had internet because I saw it said it needed internet, so I hooked it up to my hotspot. But
yeah, Eric,
I don't.
like I said, we came prepared. Like we brought equipment, cameras, microphones, everything. Eric brought hotspots. So
yeah, we had internet. But we went out, and if you ask them the wrong questions, they want to tell you to fuck off. We went over to another booth. It was, I forget what it was called. They were kind of a smaller company, something key fobs, remotes, something. I don't remember what they were called. But Paul wanted to go there because he knew they had fucking candy. But he figured he'd ask some questions before robbing their candy jar. And he was just asking some basic questions. Who do you guys sell to? What do you do? Blah blah blah. And he was like, "Oh, okay. So there's no back doors onto eBay. Can't buy these on eBay from you guys." And the guy like was really offended and then completely dismissive of Paul after that.
Really?
Yeah. And then like when we walked around and we walked by again, the guy was kind of like, giving him a side eye glare, like, "Don't you fucking walk over to my booth again." He didn't say that, but that's the look that he cut Paul when we walked by again. And I was like, man, what's these fucking people's problem, dude? Like, yeah, like, maybe, who knows? Maybe Paul would have bought from the guy if he was honest and was, yeah, we do sell to the public, or no, we don't sell to the public, and didn't, didn't get all offended by it. He just wanted to know, do you guys backdoor deals on eBay and Amazon and sell to the public like everybody else does who claims they don't?
Yeah, I get that because like I went into a really fancy store once, and I was looking to buy a suit, and what drew me into this, I had to go to court when I went into
that's the only time you wear a suit.
Yeah, and shoes, right? So what drew me to the store was the signs on the window said everything half off, whole store half off. Now I walked in there. I was like, man, this shit's still expensive as fuck. You know what I mean? I was like, did you guys just mark up the price by 2 and then say it's half off? And they're like, yeah, we did that to the entire store last night. And I was like, your attitude sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't buy from them. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, it might be an offensive question, but there might be some validity to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How the fuck do I know? I've never been in this store in my life, I know I need something from this store, but you're a dick, so I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like you said, they were a small company we never heard of. They're so small, I don't even fucking remember who they were. And the guy was like, "Yeah, most of our business is word of mouth. We meet local locksmiths, and we tell them and this and the other." I mean, they had to be big enough to buy a fucking booth at Aloha.
Yeah,
we know that shit was cheap.
Alejandro, you're lucky that I've made you this fucking famous. So, fucking Tirade Tuesday, super pissed off about things. You see, we have a lot to talk about. We're not doing 3 hours. We're reaching 1 hour right now. Aloha convention, ostentatious, super fancy. Why is it super fancy? I don't know. That pissed me off. The doorman, UHS not being prepared for us not being prepared for UHS, fucking expensive everywhere we went. In Orlando, Disney World, no thanks. You know what I'm saying? SeaWorld, no thanks. Middle of fucking summer, ouch. You know what I'm saying? Like the convention, look at this shit. See that tan line, bro?
Yeah.
Dude, you know me. I'm out walking the streets in Colombia, shirtless, every day, just about. Fucking brutal summer in fucking Florida. You can't do shit outside during this time of year. Like, even if you go to the swimming pool, you get hurt. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, my shoulders got fucking roached in 20 minutes. The one time I took my shirt off at the pool when the sun was out.
So Eric is full white boy. I have a lot of ethnic blood in me, and you can see the difference between us. I tanned and Eric turned red. Eric was like, look at this. I was like, yeah, it was awesome. Handprint, fucking awesome. Where you won a convention? Benton, Arkansas? I don't know. Why the fuck would we go there? Is that where the Bloods are from? You know? Yeah. No, I want a convention where the convention can be better. You know, like the convention doesn't have to be in Las Vegas or like Salt Lake City. Why does it have to be in these huge cities? There are airports in other cities, you know, international airports, you know? I don't understand why like you have to dilute the convention with touristy locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like they try to make it an education, vacation destination whenever it should be an education, you know, destination. Sure,
Oh,
vacation can be fun. You know what I mean?
look what Amanda said. Took her an hour and a half to get a badge.
Oh, you just popped it up. There it is. Yeah, it took me 1.5 hours to get a badge. TLA will not every convention can be the TLA. The TLA is so fucking good. It's amazing. I love the TLA. The TLA, Amanda was there. Amanda went to Aloha to help promote and get talent for the TLA. That's the TLA in a nutshell. They work behind the scenes. You don't see it. They don't demand your money. They don't make you false promises. They just fucking work, you know? And they work for us.
Yeah.
We're number one at the TLA. It's not the other way around. The vendors are not God. They are touchable. You know what I mean? And we should
Yeah.
start reaching out and touching them. Come to Erie, Pennsylvania. We can make it. Oh, I've never heard anybody say Erie, Pennsylvania can be the greatest at anything. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding, Russ. We probably could. So Russ has the potential to. I think what he said. Russell Davies is what he was on the podcast before this one. So check it out. Interesting guy. Has an accent that I can't fucking do, but his name's Russell. He's from Australia, and he looks and almost sounds like Russell Crowe, who is also from Australia. So it's kind of funny. They're both big, tough dudes. Look at this guy. I just did. See? He's like, I said so. So yeah, Russell,
Like, I
I'm
just
open to
did,
that.
mate.
That's not a knife. That's
Yeah.
not a school. This is a school. You know? It's not a convention. This is a convention. That's right. That's gonna be Russell in a year and a half.
Yeah, no shit.
Eric, anything you want to piss him on about?
Not really. Not off the top of my head at this exact moment. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Locksmiths.
I'm fucking dead tired.
Yeah. Locksmiths, thank you for joining us. We're gonna cut it a little short because this is a new thing, Tirade Tuesday, where I just lose my shit on camera. You know what I'm saying? So we are going to conclude this podcast here. I just got to say, it's up to us to be better. Alejandro wanted free shit, and I checked him and said, go fuck yourself. You don't deserve free. You're not even a locksmith, Alejandro, you codesmith. You're just as good as an airbagging person with a hanger at this point. And I tried to help you. And you called me an asshole because I didn't give away what I know. I earned it. I earned it. And it's like I told you, I didn't have to ask for free because I learned how to hunt for the information myself. I taught myself. I was disappointed in Aloha, not even a water station. Oh, yeah. 6+ hours. The vendor had to be there. No water. UHS brought an open bar. They were the guys that thought about that shit, not the convention.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. The locksmith industry is at fault. I am part of the problem. You are part of the problem. I gave out too much information. Jamie Skinner thinks that he's better than everybody based on the amount of badges that he has or accolades. An elite guy. Ooh, fuck that. Be better. Control the industry. Hold your damn accounts accountable. UHS shouldn't sell to the public cheaper than they sell to us. We shouldn't find better deals on Amazon or eBay. You know, programmers, the professional guys, us, shouldn't be, you know, encumbered by laws because of criminals. It's like Why are we the ones who are always at the pokey end of the stick? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's because we haven't fought back. So at the TLA coming up in October, I invite any and everybody. Come show up, voice it out. We're going to have an open debate there. Something new. We've been talking about it. We want people to have their voices heard. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. I'm part of the problem, and I'm going to change it. I tried to charge $3,000 for my education for a year. We thought about breaking it up and charging like $500 for Mercedes a year. This and that and this and that. People are copying me and undercutting me. Locksmith University didn't exist until my shit came out. So it's like, fuck it. If you don't want to play nice with me, then maybe I should join the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, but I will. Because if I can't get rich being ethical, then I'll join the club and be a piece of shit like the rest. So this is Jareth Garza with the Tirade Tuesday. Locksmith late. Eric, I love your face as always.
Love you too, brother.
All right, we're out.
Later.